talks about astrological event is actually an association between third house planets and an early childhood or formative trauma. Considering that these planets actually relate to this area of development and this stage of life when we are in our formative developing years. This is our early education years. It's our years when we are closest with our siblings, and it's when we are like first learning to communicate and verbalize with the world. So it's really common if a person in their birth chart has a lot of planets in the third house, and especially if it's making a lot of difficult aspects or it's like part of an aspect pattern that is quite intense. And these instances will often relate to those archetypes and the qualities of the planets and the signs in question. So this is just often an overlooked feature, but it could be quite observable, and people with like a quite intense third house configuration can probably attest to this. And the traumas can like often relate to maybe in terms of schooling, like bullying, especially if there was like Saturn there, and there could be like Saturn in the third, or a difficult configuration there can indicate a difficulty with like an early masculine figure early in life, and that caused a lot of issues, and that may have arrested or impaired the development in some way, or that there was a lot of bullying that went on in the early education years, and this could have been from their peers or from even a teacher, especially if it Saturn or like the sun is involved. If the moon is involved, there may have been like an emotional trauma that, or one that had to do with the mother, and potentially the trauma involved another sibling, or it was kind of perpetrated by another sibling. So there's really going to be a lot riding on what else is happening in the birth chart here, but we can definitely see how there would be an association with the third house, the house of Gemini, and it being those early years. And that's really when we are being conditioned to perceive and think how we perceive and think about the world for the rest of our lives. So events that happen here can have a very, very strong impact. And if there is intense third house activity, it means that these years will have a very, very strong bearing on the person's life.